Hey everyone, and welcome back to the third episode of this modding adventure. Today will be a tad bit of work as we are working on armor. This is seen as some of the more effort requiring parts of starting a mod, as everything from armor sprites to defense to even set bonuses can overwhelm new players. But don't get discouraged, I'm here to explain it for you, or at least provide some working code, I hope. I'll be going over a set of armor I made from my own custom mod, along with an accessory I made here, explaining tools that you can use to help make the process of creating the armor sprites and putting it in easier, and of course going over the code and explaining most of it for those who want to learn that special bit. I'll go into game real quick and show you what I mean. Now you can see I already have the armor equipped because I was doing some tests of it, and here it is, cryolite armor. Now cryolite is an ore that I had in my other mod that I'm working on, and this is a very very rough necklace PNG, but as you can see here it is, 798 defense, woody little tooltip. Cryolite Locket gives you extra defense. I was gonna make this do frostburn effect as well, but I couldn't get that to work at the moment, although I may update my code eventually to make it work. But I'll equip this real quick. As you see, I get the defense, of course, and it gives me a set bonus now. And I'll show you. So as you see here, I only get one bonus, and that's from the sunflowers. When I equip this, I get warmth and ice barrier as well. And as you can see, I get it, ice barrier. I can't really show you it, I guess. And Cryolite Locket gives you extra defense. So you can see it goes from 24 to 28. And that's really about it. As you can see, there is a tad bit of issues along. Oh, I guess it slows you down as well. I don't remember adding that, but oh well. Can I zoom in? Yeah, I'll zoom in real quick to show you that this is a very rough draft of a sprite. As you can see, there's a tad bit of errors, and this is usually what ends up discouraging new players, especially for people like me who really want the mod, especially the pixel art, to be as perfect as possible, but aren't good at pixel art. You can see that there's little bits of resizing texture errors up here that even though I went through and tried to remove them, they're still there. There's an error with the cropping of the pants right there, which probably means I cut out a line of pixels that I wasn't supposed to. And I do not worry about that. I will show you a set of tools that you can use that I will go over. Actually, I'll do it right now. Alright, to show you the tools, I guess I'll start with first showing you the sprites of the actual armor. So these are the things that usually catch up new players. So as you know, a sprite is referred to as the image of the armor. So this is a sprite of the cryolite breastplate. Now this is the actual item of it. You can't just put this as the sprite and expect it to work. So this is what you need. You need a sprite of each individual movement of it, and for new players it can be incredibly difficult to try to get these down, because as you see, this is 40 by 1120 pixels, and I don't think a lot of players can really memorize the gap in between that tiny little space that they have to work with and really be expected to draw this. Yeah, as you see, this is each a pixel. So like, imagine trying to like draw a pixel in each and every single one of these times. That would be pretty difficult, but do not worry, because that is why I am here. I've found a couple tools that are very useful, and they can help you out a bunch while trying to make armor. So as you can see, I'll show you the rest of them. This green background is simply means it's cropped, so I don't have to, it doesn't show up as anything. Here's another one that I had to do. You need to do it for each and every individual frame, even if it doesn't move. As you can see, it's just the moving animations basically, and while they jump. So I wanted to go over this first and foremost because I know a few of you don't want to go into the specifics of the code and would rather start working on this immediately, but this tool can really be a lifesaver. So I'll start by opening up Armor Helper. This is the tool. Now I'll put a download link to this in the description. It is safe. You do need to be on Windows though. I'm pretty sure it only works on Windows. But basically, you can open up Armor Helper. You can choose an input file. For example, I'll do like armor template. And as you can see, you can simply, once you put in the template that you want, you can choose what you want it to put as. So for example, if you want give full armor, you can just, here, I'm going to put a new folder for outputs so I can just show you it really easily. I can simply do that. You go to outputs, or you can just put it in that, and boom, you now have a complete working sprite for each individual one. And the best part is that the armor template is in a really easy to draw format like this, so you can add each individual frame in a lot easier of a method. So I'll see if I can open this with a sprite real quick and show you, which is going to be the next tool I go over. Now, I would show you a sprite, but sadly the only two options I really have to show you it is to either get it from my very old PC that I haven't updated it in a while. It would take a lot of effort because the old PC is obviously very old, and I'm gonna have to update it, and I don't know how easy this is gonna be, and I don't want to wait for that to update, but I'll put a download link to that in the description. It's a very easy pixel art editor. It does cost money, although I don't really know any better alternatives, but it's really nice. I'm pretty sure the old recording already did the I'm pretty sure I already showed you guys this, but this is a very helpful tool to help you get into making armor much easier. Yeah, I edited this a second ago, but I'm just gonna delete that recording. It's just really good. I would absolutely recommend this for making armor. It makes the process so much easier than, you know, having to do what this does and go through this piece by piece and try to add it in. And that's about it. I guess now I'll start getting into the code. You can check the description for a direct link to this in which you can read about it and download it if you so choose. For now, if you want to just copy the code and have fun with that, that's about the end of this part of the segment. Now it's time to get into the code itself. Alright, so brace yourself for that. I guess this code isn't as rough or anything, so it's not that big or that bad. It's new stuff for sure. But firstly, I think I'll start with the accessories. So here's the Cryolite Locket. Now, once again, of course, I'm probably going to say this every time I start on this. If I explained it last episode or a previous episode, I'm not going to really go into that much detail about it. I'm simply here to explain the new things about it and what you might need for that. You can watch my previous episodes on this if you really want to know about it. Most of the basic stuff is going to be done by episode 1 and 2. But here is basically the system pre-needs. It's what the system... I'm just going to call this a different name every time for some reason. These are what the system will need to run the code well. Now, you do not need all of these. I think you only really need Terraria.id and mod loader. But I have all of these here for some reason, and I'm not going to get rid of them for now. So there's that. I can just close that. Obviously, here's the namespace. I've talked about this before. You need that. Public class. You need that. You need to keep everything in that as well. Set static defaults. This is obviously the tooltip. It doesn't need a custom name because it'll automatically place a space between an uncapitalized and capitalized letter. So that's why I don't... And you can't put a space here, or else, as you see, that doesn't render it as a proper class. Set static default, or set defaults. These, I've already explained these, but here is where I haven't explained before. This will actually register your item as an accessory. Now, if you don't have this, it won't allow you to equip it. But if you do have this, it will allow you to equip it. And this is essential if you're making a accessory, because obviously you need to specify that it is one, or else you can't even equip it. What's the point? You know? And the rarity, I've explained this before, and what this part specifically is. Now here's what actually makes accessory do anything. So this is the update accessory. This means that when you equip it, it will update you as the player, and it will hide the visual effect of it updating you, so it doesn't like show anything or show any stats. It multiplies your move speed by 0.5, which effectively is dividing it by, or I guess it's multiplying it by 0.5, which is taking it down. Then it's taking away your jump speed boost. Oh, it's 0.5 float. Floats, you'll need for either really big or like really small numbers like 0.5, 0.2, 0.1, 0.002, anything like that. It's just to help the system run. Don't worry, you will get an error message if you don't have one. So it's really easy to just, it'll usually say can't convert to an integer. So you can just put F and that'll count as a float, and then you're good. This is subtracting your jump speed boost by 0.6. It's giving you 20 extra health, 4 extra defense, and 25 extra endurance. And endurance, if you don't know, is a little bit different from defense. Defense is helped to subtract the amount of damage you take from a source, whereas endurance, I think, decreases the possible maximum damage you can take from a source. So I think in a very, very like simplified expression, defense is like defense subtraction damage with a little bit of obviously discrepancy between that, and endurance is a division of the damage of a sword. Yeah, don't put that in stone. You know, take that with a grain of salt because I'm not 100% sure of that. Next up you have recipes. I've gone over these before. These are custom recipes that I had in my own mod that I'm obviously not going to show because you can just check my old mod. But that's how you add a custom modded recipe if you didn't know that. Empty Locket I'm not going to go over because this is literally the same thing but doesn't do anything. So those are accessories. Now here's the sprite. Not my proudest sprite. I could have done better, but I sort of just rushed it. I had this idea for one and wanted to just get it down on paper. And I'll probably re-sprite it soon though, don't worry. But now we're up to the armor. I'll go over the leggings, then breastplate, then helmet, because that's the helmets where it's actually the last bits of it I'll explain. So obviously I just explained that, just explained the namespace, but here's where you can keep something outside of the public class. This doesn't have, I didn't take any notes on this apparently, but I think this is supposed to be, oh, this is where you can right click, and will make it to where you automatically equip it in your leg spot. As you know, if you want to really quickly equip armor, you can simply right click while holding it and it'll put it on a spot, or same with accessories. I can right click. This will automatically put this in your spot for leggings. I don't know why I didn't think that was important. But yeah, that's pretty good. It's more of just a convenience kind of thing. Although it is pretty nice to have it on, just anyway. Classes you already know about. Static defaults already know about. I don't know why I set this to -1. But this is worth 1 silver. This is the actual defense it gives you while equipped. And this is just the basic recipe. We can head up to breastplate, which I think is slightly more interesting. Yeah, here's the same thing, but it equips it for body. Lots of things you need, but I don't think all of those are required. Item width and item height is the same as the breastplate.body, I'm pretty sure. Or maybe I was wrong about that. I don't know why it says 700. Oh, height is very large due to the need for it to resemble the sprite? Yeah, I don't think it needs to be exact, but the sprite isn't at 700. It was working fine, so you should be okay. Yeah, this is obviously the amount of defense it gets. Basically just about the same as the leggings. Those aren't too interesting. I've already explained 90% of this stuff. Yeah, I've already explained like all of this stuff before. But here's where we get to unknown territory. So this will automatically equip this as your head, obviously. Public virtual integer is speed. Now, a public virtual integer, this is something that you can, it's basically a variable tied to a function. So this is, for example, like, I could actually maybe show you this in Python. Alright, I just did like a whole segment on talking about the integers and variables for that, and apparently it's not even called to in this, so just ignore what I said about it if I crop it out, hopefully. But anyway, the difference in this are these two, which is armor set and update armor set. So this checks if you have a head, a body, and a legs equipped. And this will return the body type. And then you need a mod.item type breastplate and mod.item type leggings. Now obviously because it's a headpiece, you don't need the headpiece. And I'm pretty sure you can have more than just these to add like another special piece to it, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I haven't really delved into that because I don't care too much about that part of it. And then once all of these are checked, it'll do the update armor set, which will give you this player.set bonus. This is what appears when you get the set bonus. It buffs the player.endurance by 0.3. Decreases total damage taken. Player.add buff. Player.add buff. And yeah, this is what you can use for modded buffs. But I'll go over that when I make modded buffs, which I'll probably do in 2 episodes from now, maybe. Yeah, probably 2 episodes from now. You know, get ready for that if you want to be, if you're into that. These numbers here are for the amount of time they're supposed to be, but because it updates every like less than a second, these are never gonna wear out. So you can put these at like 1 if you wanted, and it'll be fine. I keep them at 2 simply because I just do for some reason. And you know, that's about it. Actually, yeah, these aren't that complicated. These are really the only big differences between normal pieces of code, other than the items of defense. Like I said, it's mostly the sprite making that gets new players because of how complicated it can be without the right tools, which is precisely why I showed you Armor Helper. So do not underestimate this as a tool. This is incredibly useful. And I will have a download link for it right in the description. And I guess that's about it. We can build and reload our mod, which, if you don't know, basically recompiles everything, sets everything to how it's supposed to be. I really hope I mentioned that in the first 2 episodes. But we can go check this stuff out now. Obviously, there isn't going to be that much of a difference than first, but I'll re-explain everything. And that's about it. You know, Crowdlight leggings, breastplate. We have everything that we need. We are officially really a fully assembled character. We have basic weapons, basic tools, a material, and a full set of armor along with an accessory. We are certainly on our way to making a great mod with some time put in. But that is about it. I will see you guys next episode.